Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you happen to be watching this. I hope you're having a great day. Today, I want to talk through the first paper we have for Comp 104 in the spring semester of 2024, and it's an ideology paper. I probably could have called it a propaganda analysis paper, but what we're going to be doing is taking a look at the superhero's journey and trying to analyze what ideology animates the work. And we'll spend some time on different parts of that in class, but the paper needs to be your own analysis of what's the ideology and what should we do with it. As always, a couple quick disclaimers. I'm not a professional YouTuber. This video is not monetized, and I want everybody to know that the borrowed images and quoted text are used for educational purposes. Second, the caveat of not being a professional YouTuber means that you might hear my cat contribute to the lecture. You might hear the neighbor's snowblower. Um, you might hear a lot of background noise. I try to do this in one take with no edits. I apologize, but I'm not a professional YouTuber. Ideology. What are we looking for? As you can see on the slide, and I don't want to read it, but it's a set of ideas and it shapes our understandings, and those understandings can oftentimes be misconceptions of this limits it to the social and political world, but in general, I think it is the entire view of our interactions with human nature. The word cloud has the term worldview, it has actions, because I believe ideology leads to certain actions. The worldview, I think, encompasses everything. Vision, it's how you see the world. Normative, it's what are the norms you believe should be, everybody should act on. The prompt is really simple. Write an essay that analyzes the ideology underlying the superhero's journey. And there are always questions. I think questions in this case really should drive your analysis. So, what core beliefs underlie the plot? And what details from the plot support your analysis that these are indeed the beliefs? And there's more questions. What direct statements in the text support your analysis? How do the direct statements in the text support your analysis? You are saying that this is the ideology. You are putting a label on the ideology. How do we know that that's the ideology? You're providing direct statements from the text. You're showing the actions of the characters in the text. And remember here, and I'll talk about this in each of the videos that goes through the analysis of the superhero's journey, the lecture notes for the book itself. Remember that some of the statements and actions are going to be Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Others are going to be McDonnell. So be careful about that. And I suppose all you Marvel true believers notice that the first two pictures have been DC characters. I apologize. Yet another DC character. This question, I think, is important. What questions is McDonnell trying to answer? Is he guilty of any logical fallacies as he is presenting the questions, or as he is presenting his solution to those questions? This, I think, is important as well. You notice the character Rorschach in the background, another DC character. But I believe that anytime we approach an ideological argument, we need to look at our beliefs, our ideology, and how do our beliefs and ideology affect the reading and response to the book. And as we do that, how should readers respond and react to the ideology presented? And how can you make a as fair as possible presentation showing about your beliefs affecting it, affecting your reading and identification of the ideology, and letting readers have a fair account of what's in the book? Huge caveat. I got 6, 8 questions in there. The questions are a guide to the writing. You're not using a question and answer format to write the essay. I'm going to repeat that again. You're not using a question and answer format to write the essay. You're using the questions to guide your writing. The rubric for this paper in particular. The writer labels the ideology, and I think there are a lot of ways to label it. The writer clearly outlines a reaction. The writer responds to the prompt but avoids the Q&A format. The writer avoids logical fallacies in the analysis. And the writer accurately uses plot details or direct quotations to support and label the reaction. The Mount Marty University Expressing Self rubric, you need a thesis. Your thesis is, this is the ideology, and this is how we should react to it. You have a clear and effective organization. That's part of the coherence that we talked about. You offer critical support with abundant, pertinent, and specific evidence. That's being cogent. There's a C for correctness on number 4. And then remember my last C that's always in these is conciseness. Are we getting to the point? No extra verbiage. Concrete details. The arbitrary formatting rules, double spaced. Change the before and after spacing to 0. In Google Docs, that's hitting on the line spacing. Google Docs, Word, default font, either one is fine. There should be no extra double space between the title and body of the paper. Your name, your class period, your response to the author's name or some sort of title, and due date should be placed in the first 4 lines of the upper right-hand corner. This should be single spaced. Don't put it in the page header. I only want to see it once. Here's a sample. And then just quickly a sample with everything. Heading single spaced, a double space between the heading and the title, 1 double space between the title and the body, no, not a second space, just 1. And then indent your paragraphs and go from there. I warned you my cat might want to lecture. I think you may have heard her right there. She had something to add. I can't translate it for you. Final copy is due January 24th. 2 to 5 pages. Make sure you've got a title. Default font, not extra large, not wingdings, default font, and centered on the page. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me once you get back to the classroom. Feel free to shoot me an email. But I think this should wrap it all up. I hope you all have a good day. I hope you enjoy the reading, and I hope this paper gives you something to think about.